Rebel Season 2. I like this season more than the first, and I like it. And this show is reminding me a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, specifically the 2012 version, because I remember watching that many, many years ago, and it's kind of similar where when the show started, it wasn't necessarily like the best thing ever, but as time went on, it got better and better. And I have a feeling that's where this show is leading to, because this season kind of shows that it's getting good. And also, both shows have 4 seasons. Well, technically, the Ninja Turtles have 5, but it's like 4 main story seasons. The episodes that are important are kind of spread out, and I'm kind of annoyed by that. An example would be, I think it was season 2, episode 18, where you had Ahsoka, Ezra, and Kanan go into this giant temple to find Yoda, which I thought they were gonna go Dagobah before. But you do that episode, and that all wraps up, and you're like, okay, we gotta go to Malachor now. And the next episode that actually has Malachor in it, or continues that storyline, is the season finale. And why didn't you just have that as season 2 episode, I believe, 19? Or, 20? Why is there 2 episodes that have nothing to do with the storyline? Then the season finale. Why can't the episode, season 2, episode 18, go, move into 2 episodes up, make it go next to the season finale? Because they pretty much just have this storyline, it's not a cliffhanger, then you have to wait 2 episodes, then the season finale. It's weird. A lot of episodes that kind of have importance aren't necessarily together, but in season 2, I think a couple of them are that I watched in a row, which is nice. But when it comes to the season finale, I actually like this season finale. Now, it's not the most grandest thing ever, but it's more grand in the Force. That's the thing. This show is getting better. And that's why I made the connection and similarity to the 2012 Ninja Turtles, because when the show started out, it was kind of basic. But as season 1 went along for both shows, it got bigger. Now season 2 is getting more bigger, and I'm going to assume with season 3 it's going to become more bigger, and so on and so forth. And with Rebels, you had season 1 with 1 Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor. Season 2, you had 2 main Inquisitors. There's actually a third one, but he shortly was seen and then get killed. So you had 2. Now I'm going to assume with season 3, maybe there's 3 Grand Inquisitors, or maybe Maul is the main antagonist of the season, because I feel like that's the thing. It's just the antagonist, I'm going to assume season 4 has Vader show up again as a main villain, possibly in the final episode of the show. I don't know. I know what happens in the show, like I said with season 1, I believe. I know the end result, just I don't know how to get there. I know Thrawn is going to be in the show, I don't know when he's going to appear. And this season focuses a lot more on the Clone Wars than I'm anticipated. Mainly, because every episode I've seen, they always reference the Clone Wars. Back in the day, many years ago, they did this and did that. And it kind of gets annoying, but at the same time not, because it's good to set up, a history with these characters and events in the galaxy, because Dave Filoni and the rest of the team, they worked on this show alongside with Clone Wars, so it's kind of cool to see that progression. And speaking of progression, this also fits with the Bad Batch, because some of the characters in the Bad Batch actually appear in Rebels, which I know is probably just added in later, because Bad Batch came out much, much later than Rebels did, so it's just, connections. But I like it, because I watched it all in chronological order, and it actually fits. And events that, for example, the episode that introduces Captain Rex, or just Rex, talks about how he served under Ahsoka from the Battle of Christophsis to the Siege of Mandalore. Now, the Siege of Mandalore did not come out yet. Even though, yes, it was supposed to come out, but the Clone Wars got cancelled, and we didn't see the Siege of Mandalore arc until, 2020. Which is oh my god, they just had the idea of the Siege of Mandalore being the final, arc of the show for a very long time. That episode, I think, came out like 2015, I think. So that was very, very like long planning, and it's kind of like just an opposite of what Disney did with the sequel trilogy, where Dave Filoni has all this planned out, like the history of Star Wars from the Clone Wars to like after the original trilogy was Mandalorian and stuff like that. All this history and lore, that all this continuity. Whereas with the sequel trilogy, there is no continuity in lore, really. It's kind of a stark difference, which is kind of disappointing because they're both from the same company. It's like, my God, people have more priorities in Star Wars than others. Like, my God, it's kind of embarrassing for a multi-billion-dollar company, but whatever. I'm just a consumer. What do I know? Also, with Season 2, I like how it expands the characters that we see in Season 1. Like, you get more of Zeb, Hera, I believe her name is. Sabine, I think her name is. I don't necessarily know all their names, but they have more expansion. They have more character arcs. There's more of their story that we're seeing, learning more about their past, their character, seeing how they grew up, especially with Hera, because we see her in the Bad Batch, and it's cool because I saw it in chronological order. So when I first saw Hera, she wanted to be a pilot, and now in Rebels, she is a pilot. It was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And she's kind of a badass too, a little bit, which these characters are starting to grow on me, man. Like I said with Season 1, none of the characters are unlikable. They're all likable. They're all likable characters. But would I watch them in their own spin-off show? Probably not. Except for Ezra and Kanan. They're the two best characters in the show in terms of original characters. Because obviously Ahsoka, Rex, Maul, Vader, they're all great. Every episode is just a scene taker. They just take the scene. They're so good in every scene they're in, mainly because they're the original actors, especially with Vader, and I believe Yoda was voiced by Frank Oz. So, I mean, I believe so. It sounded like him. It sounded like Yoda from the original trilogy. Which also, his design is ugly. I know they're trying to make it look like Yoda from the original trilogy, but he looks ugly. Why don't you done the Clone Wars style? I like that style more. I think I said this in Season 1. The animation is getting better-ish, but it's still kind of weird. Their fingers look like Cheetos. Like, I want to bite their fingers off. They look delicious. But yeah, their fingers look like Cheetos. Some of the characters' faces look like yarn. Like, because I saw it was my computer, and I cleaned my computer and watched a couple more episodes. Or I finished off the season with a clean screen on my computer, and it's a show. I thought it was because I had like a layer of dust on my computer, and I swiped it away. And no, it's generally the characters just look like yarn in like close-ups. Which, like, why do they look like that? Also, if you're gonna watch Season 2 specifically, I don't know for the other seasons, but there is a lot of, if you're someone that's not like, if you don't like flashy lights, then this season's not for you, because there's so much flashiness, especially because there's two Inquisitors, and they have the double blades, and they're just flashing the lightsabers. It's just, my entire room is just lit up with lights from the lightsabers. There's so many lightsaber colors and flashiness. Like, they have this blade, and they're using like a helicopter, and they just spin it around. It's just so much so that I actually slowed my, I think it lagged the episode. Like, one of the episodes, like, I think lagged, like, it slowed down. I don't know if it was part of the episode. It just slowed down, because both of them were spinning their lightsabers, both the Inquisitors. And I swear, I thought Disney Plus was gonna crash for me. I was like, oh my God, do not crash this. I didn't want to touch anything, but it was only like a couple seconds, so it was all good afterwards. But I feel like that's gonna be a problem, where like I don't think I'm supposed to watch this on a computer. I think this is like a TV thing, but I don't know if it's Disney Plus itself doing this, because I don't know what the original episode was like, because I didn't watch this when it came out, so I don't know. Where does Season 2 of Rebels lie in my rankings? Season 2 of Rebels goes above Season 1, but below Season 2 of Clone Wars. They may say, why is that? I like Season 2 more than Season 1, but not like, I kind of thought about it, and I like Season 2 of Clone Wars more than Season 2 of Rebels. So, it's going below Season 2 of Clone Wars. Do you agree or disagree with my rankings? Because I know a lot of people like this show, but I don't really hear from the fans, really, of the show, because I'm not really into the show. So, what do you guys think? Do you like my ranking or where I put it? Or do you disagree? I'm gonna go now, so goodbye, everyone.